Well, the Winter Olympics are already underway in China, even though the opening ceremony in Beijing won't happen until Friday. Some of the competitions are underway today, and the Olympic torch is on a curtailed relay at the moment. Instead of over 100 days, just 3 days of Olympic relay across China to start the Games officially on Friday. And tonight, actually, a couple of Australians are in action. Tali Gill and Dean Hewitt are the first Aussies to qualify for curling. That's that unusual sport we've often seen during the Winter Olympics. An Aussie team for the first time in curling, and they're actually competing tonight, as I say, ahead of that opening ceremony. But of course, while all this is going on, there are concerns, while we're all looking forward to the Olympics themselves, the competition, there are concerns that China will turn this into some sort of a diplomatic coup, a bit of a soft power bonus for the Chinese communist dictatorship. So to talk about those issues, I'm joined now by the Liberal Senator for Tasmania, Eric Abetz. Thanks for joining us, Eric. Of course, we want to follow the Aussies and enjoy all the sport by all the nations in Beijing, but do you think that China will be successful in using this to sort of soften its image broadly across the world?
I wish our Australian sportsmen and women every success in Beijing and hope they go well. Clearly, the dictatorship asked for these Olympics not because they're committed to sport and sportsmanship, but because they wanted to promote themselves to their own population and internationally and say to everybody, see, we are being accepted by the world community. This is a brutal dictatorship that was never deserving of being allowed to host the Olympic Games. I'm sure the 1 million Uyghurs in concentration camps would want a boycott, be it house Christians, Falun Gong practitioners, the Tibetans, Mongolians, Hong Kongers, the list goes on. The brutality of this regime, its egregious human rights abuses are such that it was not deserving of holding the Olympic Games. That said, I'm delighted.
Well, Senator, sorry to interrupt. There is a really, I suppose, live concern for particularly Western athletes who are going to be at these games, because the Chinese authorities have warned that if they say or do anything in protest, they could be subjected to Chinese law. Now, hopefully, good sense will prevail, but if we see any athletes either wear banners or say anything to try and draw attention to these human rights issues, there must be a concern that they could end up stuck in China and subject to their law.
Clearly, that is a very real concern, and that is why, as I understand it, all our athletes have been schooled and advised as to what not to say whilst in China, which is another reflection on the brutality of this regime and how it just disregards basic human rights. What we need to do as freedom-loving countries is to take a stand, and I've been delighted with how many such freedom-loving countries have boycotted these Olympics on a diplomatic basis, and over 240 non-government organisations now are on board saying that there should be a diplomatic boycott of these Olympics. So they won't get as much PR as they were hoping to. Unfortunately, they'll still get some PR, and they are completely undeserving of any public relations benefit that accrues to them from the Olympic Games.